Okay, I've got both joystick bases in place. Went ahead and tightened this one right here down. Got all 4 screws in, and once you get it real close to where you want to tighten it, you know, to the tightest that you ever would, just go ahead and make sure it doesn't wiggle around much. Make sure you've got it in the spot that you want. It's not going to move very much at all, but then tighten down and do it just like you would a wheel or a tire on a car. I just tighten here, tighten the opposite corner, and then the next corner and the next corner. Get it real good and firm in place, and don't tighten it too much, or probably a risk of either stripping out the threads inside the anchors or cracking your plastic here. But tighten it down good and firm, and you've got 4 points here holding it, so it's not going to move once you get it, you know, decently snug. I'll go ahead and do the next one on camera. Just starting with your fingers a little bit. Snug them most of the way down. Don't tighten them too tight yet, just get them all about the same. Feel your joystick base a little bit, make sure it feels good and firm in the place it's at. See, this one's not moving at all, and I don't even hardly have it tightened down. You go ahead and finish tighten down. Like I said, don't tighten too tight. You don't want to break the base. You don't want to strip out the anchors inside the wood on the control panel. But you also don't want it to move when you're playing your game. And being Mortal Kombat, you know, people get excited. And that's it. Both bases good and snug. Now we've got to put the actuators on. And these actuators, I've heard some people talk about flipping them upside down. They have a tapered side. And the tapered side, according to the illustration on the HAPP papers, is supposed to go down. So it will go on like that. And that's the way I installed them on my Mortal Kombat 2 and never had any trouble. But I think some people said that they like to flip them around. Whoops. And put them that way. And, you know, in my mind, I guess it would maybe press the button a little quicker, but I'm not sure that it would hit the corners properly. I don't know. I've never tried that. I may do that in the future. But right now we're going to go by the diagram. We're going to install them like that. Put them on and press them up until you get them inside the switch area. And see, there's some spring tension on that already. So for it to hold in place, we're going to have to go ahead and push it down, hold it with our hand, slide the clip on and snap it in place, and then it'll hold the actuator permanently. And there's the clip. And use a flathead screwdriver is usually about the easiest way. I imagine if you had a pair of needle nose, it would work really good too. But I'm just going to use a flathead screwdriver. Use my stomach just to press against the stick a little bit and hold it in place. Mash down on the actuator. Make sure it's inside all 4 of the micro switches. Put the clip in place. And there'll be several grooves on these joysticks. You have to put a little tension and push up on the actuator towards the top of the control panel, and then you'll see a groove available. And don't put it on a groove that's at the very end if it's going to be so loose that there's no tension on the actuator and the spring and everything. You want to press it until you reveal one of the grooves, and mine just happens to be the very last one. And then press on it a little bit. Like I said, I'll use my flathead screwdriver, and watch your fingers. Don't cut yourself. And that's it. It's in place. all there is to it. Just pressing all the switches and everything seems good. Now that it's in place, feels like to me just like my Mortal Kombat 2. I thought it might be a little stiffer spring, but makes all the difference in the world when you actually get it mounted to the control panel. I'm going to go ahead and do the actuator on this other one, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I've got both the actuators in and the clips for each joystick. So the joystick mounting and installation is pretty much over with, except for hooking up all the wires, the buttons, and the wiring that goes to them and everything. Pretty much the joystick installation is over with as far as what we have to do to replace the joysticks. But I did want to show you something, and it is interesting to me, and I hope it improves the performance of the HAPP Competition joysticks. But I think I told you earlier in the video, these actuators right here, on earlier competitions, people were complaining that when you would move to a certain direction or a corner or something, these would like stick kind of out of place, not straight up and down and, you know, floating in the middle like they're supposed to. Well, I can see immediately these are just free as they can be on both of these, and you just barely touch them, and the actuators just wiggle out and back, so they recenter themselves like they're supposed to. And on the Mortal Kombat 2 over there, I don't have it on video right now, but you know, I can walk over there right now and do this on them, and they will stay in the position I press them at, because there's so much friction between them and the plastic tube underneath them that they sit on. But they have either made the diameter of the hole inside these actuators a little larger, or they made the tube on the outside a little less in diameter or something, and these float on them a lot better, and all the tension is being carried against the clip and the plastic tube or shaft that this actuator is on top of. And I think that'll improve performance, if you ask me, because you know, just thinking in my mind, if you hit a diagonal or move to one side and this shifts a little bit, then when you go to hit another direction, this thing, once you go to press against a micro switch, it actually has to recenter itself as you're pressing. I mean, it happens so fast it probably doesn't affect it that much, but I can see how it might, you know, cause some performance issues. And people have said that they would buy the ones that weren't floating like this and take a little Dremel tool, I guess, to the inside of the actuator and just take just a fine amount of plastic off from the inside with their Dremel tool and some type of abrasive bit, I guess. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. And I'm going to go ahead and start reconnecting the buttons, putting the button assemblies back in, and I'll be back in just a second.